we are going to see how the objects interact with each other. So that is where this messages and methods come into picture. So now we will see how these messages and methods work in object oriented programming. We all know what is a message. A message is nothing but a way of passing some information. So a message is generally transmitted. It is a way of communication from one object to another. So what does this message usually contain when it comes to objects? A message is a request to an object to invoke one of its methods. Now we saw that a class contains data and it contains functions to operate on the data. An object is created for a class which specifically tells what the data holds and what the function does. So a message is nothing but a request to an object to perform one of its functions. So that is the interaction between the objects. Generally one object communicates with another, requesting it to do something in response to its message. So a message, what does it contain? It contains the name of the method and the arguments of the method. So from this itself you can find out that a method is similar to a function. Like a function has a name and some arguments, we have seen about the formal and actual arguments in a function. So similarly a method is nothing but it is also identified by name with some features or some characteristics that are to be sent to it. And based on the response or based on the message, what the message asks the object to do, that particular method will be executed. And every method is associated with a class. We know every class defines some function, and an object invokes a method as a reaction to the receipt of the message. So there are two objects involved in this message and method interaction. One object is a client which is requesting for some service. So it is a work of that object to send the message to the object which is supposed to do the work in response to this message. And every method which has to be invoked needs to have a name and needs to have an argument. And every method is defined in a class. So there are three things involved in this: object, class and method. Two objects to communicate with each other, one method which has to be executed in response to the message, and a class which covers all these three. Every object needs to belong to a class and every method needs to belong to a class. So this is how interactions take place between objects. Next we have something called abstract data type. As I said before, a class is an implementation of an ADT. So here in detail, what is that abstract data type we are going to see. It is characterized by two properties. One is a type. It exports a type. Exports a type in the sense it sends out, it shows a type, and it exports a set of operations or interactions or methods or functions or whatever name you can give. It all means something that is done, some work that is done, some task that is done. So it exports a type in the sense it sends out some signal of some particular type of data. So an abstract data type is nothing but, now when you say integer, you know what all an integer holds. It holds numerals, and in numerals you should not have any decimal points of fraction. So all these characteristics of the data type integer is well known by the programming people who have studied that language. Whereas when you say an abstract data type, it simply tells you about the general features of that type. For example, if you say a class, when you see a class, you know its name, you know what are the data it holds, and you know the name of the function that it holds. But what that function does is specifically given only by the object which is created for that class. So abstract is nothing but a way of hiding the details which are not necessary for the programmer to know. A class need not tell about how to implement a method. It is enough if the object implements a method, because it is only the objects which is the example of the class, and it is only the object which is having features and behavior. It is only the objects which are going to interact with each other. So an abstract data type is nothing but it only gives you a superficial idea of what is held in a class, the type of data and the interactions that can be performed on that data. So that is only the implementation of this abstract data type.